I also need to make a video just about the George Michael thing. I know I shouldn't talk about this one because it involves a kid, and I have no idea how Ricky Martin thinks about it. But I made a post because I made a video, but I made it really quickly. I kind of was listening to that thing, and as soon as they talked about him, Ricky Martin, having kids, I was like, oh, it just twigged that it reminded me that last week I was looking for Ricky Martin, and when I was trying to picture where he is, I saw that he was with a gay couple and one of the people seemed very similar to him, and then I found Ricky Martin and confused him, hence thought that he was very similar to they're very similar in ways. I think Ricky Martin seems to be like a more modern version of George Michael, but I might have even got him confused quite a few times in the past. I don't know, but they have like a similar there's a similar energy going there. But yeah, so I don't know if I should really talk about it because it involves kids, and I don't know how he would feel about it. But he might not want his kids to know anything, in which case that's fine. In which case it won't go public or anything. Well, technically it's going public because I'm making this video, but yeah, the fact that he's George Michael and Ricky Martin. If you take the two surnames, you've got Michael and Martin, and yeah, I do believe that Martin Dodd was Michael Jackson in his past life. I feel like he died and there was a time loop and he came back to life. Technically, I didn't really know Martin very well, but I definitely did feel very strong, like he was Michael Jackson. But I haven't spoken to him about it. I don't know what he's doing now. I can imagine, Michael Jackson had a lot of fame, but then fame also caused him a lot of problems. So if Martin doesn't want to be famous in this life, I can completely understand why, and maybe that's why he's sticking out the limelight. I don't know. And likewise, George Michael, if he is one of the kids, the 3 or 4 year old, and I found out that he actually died in 2016. I thought it was earlier than that for some reason. I don't know why I thought it was. I thought it was before I started believing, but I don't know. My memory's not very good. And yeah, since Ricky Martin's kid's got a 3 and a 4 year old, I mean, technically it could be either. It really could be. Probably more likely to be the younger kid, but I don't know. I mean, you'd have to assess their characters, but a lot of things change. When you die and get a new body, you forget the whole memory. You forget a lot of things. Aaliyah liked waffles, and I've never liked waffles. Okay, waffles was the one thing that my mum kind of programmed me to believe when I was younger, that you get fat if you eat it, and therefore I feel like I don't like waffles. But then I feel like partly the reason why I don't like waffles is because I have strong memories of my mum telling me that I don't. So just because I don't, that doesn't mean I actually don't. I feel like maybe it's something that I don't actually. I've never eaten a waffle. I don't think. I don't believe. I think I might have had one or two that were like dry and not very nice. So maybe I've just had one or two bad ones and assumed that I didn't like them. But yeah, I don't know. I am very different to Leah in loads of ways, and you know, a person shaped by nurture. There's a difference between nurture and nature. Nature is your character, but yeah, if you have different life, different upbringing, different people, different teachings, you're going to be a very different person and stuff like this. But yeah, I noticed in the song that he did about Don't Want to Be Alone, he did a song with Christina Aguilera. Christina Aguilera is the angel of Dala, and while there's a lot of focus on her stomach in that, and with him saying I don't want to be alone, it kind of, I feel like that song is saying that there's going to be a birth, someone's going to die and then be reborn, in because that's what happened with Dala. I believe that she got pregnant by the father died 3 months later, and then when she gave birth 9 months later, I believe that she actually gave birth to the father, hence why the religion has confused, the father and the son are supposed to be the same person. And I feel like so many people believe it because there is truth to it. And the truth is that Dala had a kid by the father, but the father died and was the son, hence why the father and the son are the same person, hence why when this Christianity is going around, a lot of people are being drawn to it, a lot of people are feeling there's truth in it. There is truth in it, but not in the way that they think. It's not God and the son, it's actually just Dala's partner versus Dala's son. And the fact that Ricky Martin did a song with Christina Aguilera, where they focus on the belly, saying that he doesn't want to be alone. It's almost like he's saying that, hey Dala, can you bring back someone? I know George Market isn't a father, but he you come back through being pregnant again. So I feel like there's more than just than the first evidence. The first evidence was that I felt like George Michael. I listened to some of his songs last week, and it felt like he was saying to me that I'm going to see you again. I'm going to see you again very soon. and I felt like this was a sign that, you know, he's a kid, and that I was thinking too, because I feel like maybe he hasn't fully woken, but technically when you're 3 or 4, you still haven't fully woken up uh, to your full, like, you know, you do a lot of changing as time goes on, so you become more and more developed as time goes on. And yeah, whether you should know who your past life was or not, that's probably something you shouldn't say until they're older. um, and I have no idea if they want to go in, if he wants to go into the limelight again, or if he wants to be a singer. You know, if he doesn't, then that's you know, that would be completely up to the child and between Ricky Martin. But yeah, I feel like there's lots of evidence. One, that I felt like George Michael was talking to me through the song, was saying that I'm going to see him, I'm going to actually know who he is in his past life. Two, felt like I was looking for someone who was similar to George Michael, because I was saying how, you know, my sister has a 3-year-old who with a person called George, and yeah, is that him? No, no, definitely not. You know, George, my sister's husband, is very, very different to George Michael. So there's both a George connection there, but at the same time, my sister's, you know, if you have a child, even if it's a gay couple, you know, that's also another thing that needs to be brought up. You know, there's a lot of people that say that gay couples shouldn't even have kids, and I think that's completely wrong. I mean, there's a lot of gay people in the world, and when they die, they probably would rather be in a gay family. Why? Because they're going to be more accepted and stuff. So and so similarities, you know, if you're a gay couple, okay, if you're a guy, you're gonna have to find a female to get pregnant or something. So you know, there is some, but the Matrix is smart. You know, the Matrix knows that if a gay couple wants a child, you know, and they're going to get a woman pregnant who's might also be gay herself, but is happy to give a child over to the father, you know, whatever, under whatever agreement, you know, the Matrix works things out. I think it's difficult if the child is like 3 or 4 and then starts getting adopted, because um, you know, there's a higher variety. Like if they're just going to go to the foster system, then it's harder to place them in the right place and stuff. But um, unless they just did something shitty in their past life, hence ended up in the foster care system because of maybe not caring about their children who ended up in a foster care system in their past life. You know, that there's that. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with gays having kids, and the fact that there are so many gays means that they're, you know, when they die, that they would probably want gay parents, and so you shouldn't just, you know, I have heard some people say that, you know, it's unfair to bring a child up by a gay couple, and it's not. You know, considering how many gay couples there are, and considering gay people die, you know, people die all the time. Some of them are gay. You know, they would probably prefer that, and I think the Matrix